Chicago, welcome in to the Chicago Sports Podcast. I'm Kevin Kaduk, head of content at CHGO, joined as always to my left, Mark the Carman.
Cheers, Kevin. Happy Thursday.
Cheers to you.
Last show of the day, and I just wanted to give the Silver Bullet a little bit of love today because it's delicious. And hey, listen, we're 21 days away from Caleb Williams being a Bear. Let's go.
All right,
3 weeks from today, we'll be doing this show. Joe's on Weed Street.
I'm going to jump in here because you're saying it's the last show of the day. We have a Bulls show in an hour and
Carm's
18
last
minutes.
show of the day.
You
We
understand?
have White Sox pre and post later.
Lawrence, you know this. I'm a me guy. I don't care about any of those other shows. It's all about me.
guys.
I mean,
me guys.
Why is there the Bulls play tomorrow? No, I know. I love the Bulls show. I watch it like all the time for the record. And listen,
You're wearing a Kobe White shirt.
I'm wearing a Kobe White
Agent
shirt.
Zero.
And
Great shirt.
And I'm looking forward to getting out to Guaranteed Rate Field sooner than later. White Sox got a victory, and I'm going to Wrigley on Saturday. So let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's Lawrence Benedetto behind the board as always. Lawrence,
I
thanks
mean,
for
not
joining
always.
us. Well, most of the time.
Eh.
Consistently. You provide us continuity behind the board,
Sure.
just like the Bulls roster.
I love that Lawrence will literally debate any topic at any point. Now, I'm not always here. I'm mostly here, but sometimes I'm not here.
Yeah. Where's Poppy? I need Poppy.
Poppy's in studio. Poppy's in Studio B.
Where are you,
I love Poppy. Here you go, buddy. Oh, there she is.
Poppy the puppy wants nothing to do with her owner.
We'll deal with that later. She doesn't want to get picked up right now. I don't want to force her, but she will make an appearance on the show. She wants the pizza boxes. She's into Salerno's right now.
So, 3 weeks from today, the NFL draft party out at Joe's on Weed Street. Get your tickets. Thursday is close up to sell out. Friday is available. Reserve your spot. We're going to be out there. It's going to be a great party both nights. Looking forward to it.
So Friday night and Thursday night are going to be awesome. Presented by Circa Sports Illinois, the Collector's Cave, Joe's Bar on Weed Street, Gary Fensick, meet and greet, the whole thing. But I got to tell you, I was listening to Dalton and the Sheriffs yesterday.
Yeah? They good?
Phenomenal.
Okay, good.
I think I wouldn't have brought it up.
They're a country band, though, huh?
Yes, and
I'm not a country guy.
Right, then some people aren't, but it is catchy, it is enjoyable. It'll be awesome.
I like that we're getting into live music and performances.
Yeah, it's
one day it's going to be Dalton and the Sheriffs. The next thing you know, it's going to be Carman and Mick Jagger doing their thing in the middle of Soldier Field.
I don't know how I'm going to become friends with Dalton and the Sheriffs because we keep on saying on CHGO Bears that it's Dalton, Carman, and the Sheriffs, but I got to become friends with Dalton and the Sheriffs.
I want to know how you're going to become friends with Mick Jagger.
I have a moment with Mick back.
Did you?
I had a moment with Mick. It's not really an exciting moment, but since you brought it up, when they played at that point, I think it was U.S. Cellular Field or maybe it was Comiskey Park 2, whatever it was. The Stones are there. I think it was September, and I'm vending the operation to sell beer, make a couple dollars
$2
here.
Yeah, hustle.
And so Mick comes riding by on a golf cart right next to me. And my dude, Mike Charney, who I'm actually supposed to go to the Cub game with tomorrow, he's like, Mick. And he just gave one of the peace salutes at us. And I'm like, you just micked Mick. Like, and it was, but he was, he was.
How small is he in person?
Tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny. But have you ever seen the Stones?
I saw them in 1997 at Camp Randall. They had a offer for students, like get in for $6 or something. I could afford that. I mean, I remember going up there and the tickets were on sale and they were like $100, $200. Couldn't afford that. And then Camp Randall did not come close to selling out, so they tried to get as many students in as possible. And I just remember thinking then in 1997, which is now 27 years ago, that, man, these guys are too old to be doing this. And 27 years later, they're still doing it, and people are paying $500, $600. I mean, which blows my mind. And I love the Stones. Like, I have all their albums. I have read several books on the Stones. Like, I can't imagine paying $600 for it.
Yeah, I get that part of it. That's a lot of dough, but the energy that comes out of what is Mick now? 70?
Absolutely,
80?
absolutely.
Is he not 80? Am I wrong? Isn't he 80?
Yeah, he just turned 80, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. I mean, Keith Richards is a modern marvel. It does bother me a little bit that Charlie Watts died and like they just kind of kept on going, which I guess is kind of what the Rolling Stones are supposed to do, but at the same time.
Can you imagine you're 80 years old. 80. You're still doing the rock concert. That's uplifting for all of us. I'm assuming they're not doing it for the money.
Mick has a great social media presence now because they'll go on tour and he'll do these things where he'll just pop into a bar and have like a drink and he'll have like a hat on and see if anyone notices him and like people won't, which blows my mind.
That's awesome. What a life, man. Seriously. Keep going. Hey, 80, 81, 82, 85. I'll say this. My dad's 98. At 80, he was rocking and rolling compared to what he's doing now.
Well, 18 years. That's 2 decades right there.
Big difference. Big difference.
Yeah, I mean, I give him credit for lasting as long as he has with, your antics.
Yeah, well, that's true, too.
Yeah.
It's been tough. It's been a tough run for Freddie. No doubt about it.
All right, let's get into today's topic. I actually was just thinking about this morning and thinking that Caleb Williams has a very easy opportunity to surpass some numbers. Obviously, passing the most passing yards in a season by a Bears quarterback, which is like 3,800 and change by Erik Kramer, and then maybe throwing DJ Moore into the record books and past Johnny Morris, 5,000 and change for most receiving yards ever. It's setting well. If Caleb Williams wants it, he can get it. He doesn't have to get past a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees or Peyton Manning. But it got me thinking of what are the unbreakable records in Chicago sports? What are things that are not going to be touched? And I think we kind of have some ideas, and we've listed them in the description of the show. I mean, the two that immediately come to mind are Walter Payton's career rushing yardage, which at the time that he retired, his 16,726 was an all-time mark. It's since been surpassed by Emmitt Smith, and somebody else pass him. Is there another someone else?
Yes,
probably
I don't
should
know.
look that up.
Edgerrin James, I have no idea. I'm just kidding.
Not Edgerrin James.
I know, I'm
but-
just kidding, but it was someone.
And then the other thing is Michael Jordan, 29,277 career points that he scored with the Bulls. He added on some more with the Wizards later.
It's still Emmett. Emmett's 1, Walter's 2.
Okay, Walter still is.
Frank Gore's 3, Sanders is 4.
Frank Gore.
Frank Gore,
Wow.
Yeah.
16,000 yards on.
I knew that Frank Gore was up there somehow. I didn't know if he had passed him.
Yeah,
But so the thing that I would say about that is those are amazing numbers. They're gigantic. I mean, more than likely, no one will ever pass those, particularly with the rushing yards and the way the NFL game has evolved. But I think that there's still an outside. I wouldn't say that they are the most unbreakable. I would say that they are unbreakable, but there's probably some other ones that are out there. So you and I kind of came up with some suggestions and some thoughts and put some things out there. So let's just kind of start a conversation about unbreakable records and things that we, yeah, I'll start. I mean, do you think either of those two will ever be broken? Like, what would it take for? I mean, I guess I know
Walter
what it
and
would take.
MJ.
Yeah.
So the Michael one, I mean, he had 29,277 career points with the Bulls. I think the other one that feels even more insurmountable because now with people eating better, people working out better, athletes putting much more money into their bodies, they have a lot more money to do it nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
If the Bulls were ever to get a generational guy who can sit there and have a longer 20-year career, then maybe. But Jordan, his third season in the league, he scored 3,041 points, 37.1 a game. The only guy that's ever scored more in a single season was Wilt Chamberlain. I'm not sure how many times, but Wilt averaged 50 a game. So there's no way any Bull player in the history of this game, even with the 3-point line, is going to beat Jordan's 37 a night.
Right.
That in 82 games.
I would say this, though. Michael Jordan played for 13 seasons. Would it be possible for someone, if they played into year 17 or 18, then to just compile the stats to get there?
Highly unlikely, but could
I would say
happen.
I would say with the 3-point line, and then just the longevity that you could maybe get there. Like, it's not like, okay, you thought, okay, well, Magic Johnson's and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar are the greatest Lakers of all time. We'll never see anyone better. And then, Kobe Bryant comes along, right? Something like that.
Sure.
So I would say Jordan of those two, because the way the NFL has gone and with the running backs just being so completely disposable, you're just never going to see what Walter Payton did.
Well, here, like let's do the math here. If you did 82 games, you want to do 30 a night? 30 a night would be, so that's 2,460 points.
Mm-hmm.
To get to, 29,000? So that would be times what, 22 seasons? Would equal, I'm wrong. Just trying to think total points here.
I was told there would be no math here, Carm.
Well, I got to do some, if you averaged 2,460, that means 10, 11, 12, 15 seasons times 15.
Yeah.
That's at 30 a night, Kev. It would be 13 seasons roughly. Okay. All right. So let's say at 20 a night. 25 will be a realistic number.
25 a night.
Excuse me. 25. Excuse me. Wow. I swear by Monday I'm gonna be fine. So if it's 25 a night, that is 2,050 points. All right. So and give me the Jordan number. 2,050. Remember that. 29,000 what?
29,277.
277 divided by 2050 equals, so that'd be 14 and a quarter seasons. Could happen.
It's tough. Yeah.
Could happen. Unlikely
to happen, but it's possible. I mean, scoring points is still at the core of the game, no matter how you do it. And then you do have the 3-point line. So I would say that. Walter Payton with the rushing yards, that would be tough. But okay, Walter Payton, 125 career touchdowns.
Okay.
Did someone come close to that? Number 2 on the Bears all-time list. Do you know who it is?
That's going to be a sad number. Number 2 on the Bears all-time list, getting into the end zone. Can I get an era from you? I'm going to give it away.
Right after Walter Payton.
Neil Anderson?
Neil Anderson is number 2 with 71 career touchdowns.
Huh. The ball to Neil Anderson. I love Neil Anderson.
Number 35 in your playbook.
Yeah. Look, 125 in today's NFL, I think, is also doable. But the Bears have to like draft a receiver who's good at football.
Have to be a receiver. Yeah, I mean,
I think,
or a tight end.
Sure. 10 a season, play 15 seasons. There you go. You're past it with a couple of down years in there too. It's a long career, insane career. But I think eventually at some point, even perhaps in our lifetimes.
Did you come up with any other Michael Jordan numbers?
Well, I put the 3,041 in there. I didn't want to go too Jordan heavy, so I started spraying elsewhere. But if I was going to do other Jordan numbers, it'd be steals in one season, which is 236. I got to double check my work on that. He averaged 3.2 steals per game. It's the most by a Bull. When he was winning, he also did that, by the way, when he was scoring 37 a night. So he was just a complete and utter lunatic on every single level.
It's amazing.
But that was, athletic prime, which I've been actually going back and watching some of those games on YouTube, and just to put me to sleep at night, which is an odd choice because I end up staying up and watching a good hour of it.
I've always contended that NBC Sports Chicago could just re-show the 95-96 season from the start. It would probably do better ratings than the current.
White Sox baseball right now?
Well, White Sox baseball for sure.
I'd watch.
Yeah.
But,
All right. Well, we're saying over or under on a lot of these numbers. The place you do want to do more than or less than is PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America, and they are the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. Just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks and who knows what else is out there, You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and just watch the winnings roll in. Cool thing that I've loved this entire month. We've got men's and men's and women's basketball players on there, so it's been a good way to keep track of both tournaments and have an interest in what's going on there. Caitlin Clark, more than or less than.
Let's go.
32 points.
Let's go.
She always goes more than. PrizePicks has something for every sports fan, from basketball and hockey to League of Legends and everything in between. You can pick LeBron, Connor McDavid, and Jude Bellingham. No idea who Jude Bellingham is.
He plays for Real Madrid.
Okay. All in the same entry. He's a soccer player.
Yeah.
I don't know. How would I know
I
this?
didn't know Jude Bellingham. Star.
I'm interested in Chicago.
I have no idea who that is.
Although he could play for the Chicago Fire, and I would have no idea.
I'm sure he's a great player.
Sorry. But testing my skills on PrizePicks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. So that's why I've checked it out. They also offer weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. What I want everyone to do right now before this big weekend, go to prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. It's good value there. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy.
And a shout out to our friends at CD1 Price Cleaners, which I just frequented. It was an amazing experience. I loved it. I loved the value I got. Customers, you save over 30%.
Is that why Poppy looks so good? Her coat looks amazing.
Doesn't she look amazing? Customers save over 30%. We saved over 30% on that coat, Pop. When
you dry cleaned your dog.
I dry cleaned Poppy. It was amazing. They did it all.
Let's just clear that up. They do not dry clean dogs.
They don't, but they should, or they could, but they just choose not to.
One price.
Because they are that good at it.
It would be one price.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, look, in other cleaners, they do charge a different price for every garment or dog.
Well, they have a Chihuahua or a Saint Bernard.
Hey, this one is not, they don't do that at CD1 Price Cleaners. They give you the first class for your sports jerseys, for your the standard dress shirt, the standard coat. It's one price only. Thank you. CD1 Price Cleaners. They also have your order ready the same day or the next day. Other cleaners taking 2 to 4 days to clean your garments. No. Not at CD1 Price Cleaners. Dry cleaning, wash and fold laundry, blankets and comforters, tailoring and alterations. This is a day. Leather cleaning, area rug cleaning. Visit chgo.cd1. If you heard anything I just said now, chgo.cd1.com. And once you're there, you can pick from an in-store coupon or online pickup and delivery coupon options.
I've got the old number 19 Reebok Indian head sweater. Need to bring in there. Got a little nacho cheese from the Blackhawks takeover last week on there. So.
Was that your girls or was that you?
I think it was just some collateral nacho cheese flying in the air.
Collateral nacho cheeses?
That sounds
Collateral
delicious.
damage.
These things happen.
All right, we're talking about unbreakable records in Chicago sports. If you think of an unbreakable record, throw it in the comments. Also, hit that like button. Want to thank you for joining us on the Chicago Sports Podcast this fine afternoon. Let's move on to the Cubs. The two that really kind of come to mind for me would be Sammy Sosa's numbers, 545 career homers with the Cubs, and then 66 regular season home runs. He put that up in 1998, which didn't even win the Major League Baseball that year, which is crazy. Anyone passing those?
No, and also 3 seasons over 50 in homers, or is it over 60?
Over 60.
Over 60.
66, 63, and 64.
Yeah.
3 seasons over 60. He also has a 49 homer season. No, I don't think anyone's passing Sammy's total and or seasons record. When I was looking at the Cubs, I actually landed on Juan Pierre out of nowhere.
Okay. What do you got?
Juan Pierre played all 162 games in 2006, and he had 699 at-bats. Not plate appearances, at-bats, because he barely walked. So I don't see anybody playing 162 and
then never walking.
That's insane. So I think
Juan Pierre, that's a franchise record, obviously.
That's a franchise record.
Wow. Who would have thought Juan Pierre had a franchise record?
Who would have thought Juan
for the
Pierre?
Cubs?
So
I'll bet Juan Pierre did.
if you do the math on it, that's 4.31 at bats per game, playing every single game.
Oh my God.
So you have to have between 4 and 5 at bats every single day and never walk once to get to what he did.
How many walks did he have that season?
I got to look it back up, but
Wow, that's a lot of at bats. What year was that? Was that like
2006?
6.
Yeah.
We're scoring some runs.
I'm looking at this. I'm like, no one's ever beaten that. That's insane. Juan Pierre walked. I have it right here, Carm. He walked all of 30. He had 32 walks that year.
Wow.
32 walks.
So
struck out
730 at like 730 plate appearances.
750 plate appearances.
50.
750. Walked 32 times. Struck out 38 times.
Wow.
38 Ks.
Good for him.
He led MLB that year in hits with 204. He also led MLB that year in caught stealing with 20. But he also stole 58 bases.
That's a good pull. I'm glad that you did your homework on that because I don't know. I feel better knowing that Juan Pierre had 699 at bats.
He led MLB in at bats 3 times, twice with the Marlins. I won't mention 03 when he did it, and then in 04. But the most he ever had was with the Cubs, 699.
So the Cubs franchise record for hitting streak, belongs to 2 older fellas who played when they were the Orphans and the Colts. So let's throw them out the window.
Yeah,
right?
they're out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not that hard to.
Sorry to your relatives.
But it still was only like 42. But we all remember Jerome Walton, 1989. Everyone's going after that upper deck rookie card. With the Todd Zeal and the Ken Griffey.
Love it.
In the upper deck.
Yeah.
Todd Zeal.
30 straight games with a hit, Jerome Walton.
I remember it well. Harry Carey.
I was always a Dwight Smith guy myself.
I love Dwight Smith. The 89 Cubs were fun.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy that I can't even remember like the last time anyone got close top ending that, but somebody beat out Jerome Walton 30 straight.
I would think so.
It's going to happen.
I mean,
Lawrence and I were going through like recent hitting streaks, and Jimmy Rollins had the run of 38, which spanned 2006 into 2007. It was like 2 games,
like 17 years ago.
Yeah,
like that's wild.
That's amazing.
And then Whit Merrifield had a 31 game hitting streak for the Royals between I think 2017,
future White Sox.
Future White Sox, Whit Merrifield. People are not putting up 30 streaks.
I get it. It does feel like it's, at least as far as the records that we're throwing out there, it feels more attainable than others.
Do you know who owns the White Sox hitting record? You don't have to throw out old players. You already know.
I do.
Lawrence, do you know who owns the?
Yeah, you told me.
We already went over this.
Told me an hour ago.
But I was surprised by it. I'll tell you that much.
Carlos Lee, 2004, 28 straight games.
El Caballo.
I have no recollection of that.
I don't remember it either. And I remember when they traded him for Scott Podsednik, I thought that was the dumbest trade of all time. And then they won the World Series.
That whole thing with the dissolution of the Ozzie Guillen, Carlos Lee, and Maglia Ordonez always just felt kind of like they really lucked into something.
Yes and no, though. The Ozzie thing, since you just brought that up, can somebody let Ozzie Guillen manage a Major League Baseball team? Whatever team he just managed in the winter, they just won.
Yeah.
He's like the only guy out there who's not afraid to go straight at modern day players. He knows the game backwards.
Well, the problem is he's the only guy that will go against modern day general managers, which is why he doesn't have a job.
Right. And so you need a GM who is comfortable in himself and
which doesn't exist anymore.
Apparently
because
not.
Someone coming out of Harvard and Yale does not want to deal with Ozzie Guillen. They also don't want to win baseball games.
And okay, it's you can do all the analytics stuff. Ozzie deserves another chance to manage a major league team. I don't think there's anyone would argue that.
Our guy Antonio has a great pool here. Mark Burley, 14 consecutive years of 200 innings pitched. I think that's probably safe. That's never getting.
I don't even think half of that.
Here's another baseball one. And Mark Burley, for as good as he was and for as many innings that he still came up 100 short. Ted Lyons, 260 career pitching wins with the White Sox, which is amazing because
wins aren't even a stat really anymore. Like, I mean,
Right.
there's no way.
But I mean, they were sort of were in the Burley area. Like,
I know. I'm just
kinda
saying, like,
half.
there's no
But Burley,
way.
I think, had 161 career victories.
Yeah,
With the White Sox.
I mean, that's just those are out the door. I was
Ted Lyons only had he pitched like 20 years. He only had a winning record in 5 of them.
I was looking at his
White
numbers.
Sox baseball.
Yeah, I think he had 2 seasons where he won 20.
Yeah.
Ed Walsh, 1908, 40 wins in 1 year. Easy Eddie.
I'd always see those names like growing up and going to Comiskey Park and think, oh man, these guys must have been the shit. And it's like, no, they just kind of were.
They were
around.
they were out there throwing the ball. Let's go. Oh wait, White Sox lost to the Cubs in the World Series. Is that right? Pretty certain.
Did they? The White Sox beat the Cubs in 06.
White Sox beat the Cubs in 06.
And
then Cubs got them in 08. And then 2016. It was only 100.
So 1997 Cubs 0-14 losing streak to start a season. I actually thought that this year's White Sox might have a shot, but they pulled one out against the Braves the other day. So that's not going to happen. 0-14 is crazy.
Do you remember that David Kaplan was staying in a van across from Soldier Field?
I feel like you brought this up several times on this show.
I don't think I did. Cap went.
Were you like turning down his bed for him?
I didn't know him at that point.
Okay.
He got all sorts of attention for that one. It put David Kaplan on the map.
0-14. I remember being in a car, like listening to the Alex Fernandez no-hit bid against them. Remember that? It was like kind of at the tail end of that?
Yeah.
Marlins.
Yeah.
Right.
That was such a sad time in Cubs history too, because it was a little bit past it, but in '92, Maddox wins the Cy Young. Larry Himes can't figure out how to get him signed, even though he was dying to be a Cub. He ends up in Atlanta, and then he comes back and beats Jose Guzman like 2-0. And
97 was Harry Carey's last season.
And then 97 was Harry's last year. Jim Riggleman. I was a Riggs guy. I loved Riggs.
Well, 97 was the White Sox white flag trade as well. It was a bad year for
97 was the white flag trade?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember Cubs Sox for the first time in interleague play in 98 in at Wrigley.
That was 97.
That was 97?
Was the first, yeah.
Okay, and the Cubs swept him in 98 then.
Gotcha. Any more? Oh, but you have Bobby Thigpen, 57 saves in one season.
57?
Yeah, that's tough.
Francisco Rodriguez K-Rod has since passed out, I think, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Jeff
Gagne.
Torborg's throwing him out there every single day at Old Comiskey.
I think Erik Gagne, or am I making that up?
I think you're making that up.
He just like had a bunch. He just had a 70 in a row without a blown save or something. I don't know.
And he was doing it all with the juice.
Where's Chris Kamka? What the hell's going on?
Now with the Cubs. You know what's amazing as we wrap up this part of the conversation? Nancy Faust is making a resurgence here.
Is she?
She's like popping up all over social media.
She's been in it for a while.
She's
like sent me emails before, which thrills me to no end.
Get her in here.
Can we get her in here to play? Seriously.
I mean, she lives in Arizona. She had the donkey who just died.
Her donkey died?
Yeah.
Oh, the donkey would always be in the videos with her. I mean, yeah, she lives in Arizona, so there's probably she's probably got a nice open space and everything.
I mean, maybe it's worth an investment. Let's go interview Nancy in Arizona. He'll do huge numbers. Let's go. I love Nancy.
All right, real quick. Bobby Hall, 604 career goals, 58 regular season goals. Probably no one's touching either of those. I mean, Kane didn't come close.
How many goals?
604 career goals with the Blackhawks.
Okay.
And 58 regular season goals in one.
Like Bedard's doing that next year.
You think Bedard will put up a 60 burger?
Yes. What are we?
I hope so.
Come on, it's Connor Bedard, man.
Can't win a face-off, Lawrence.
Do you think he'll eclipse 600 goals?
Yes.
Okay, I like it.
What are we debating? It's
Patrick Kane didn't come close. And I know he's
Connor Bedard. What are we talking about? Come on, man.
Are you putting the Blackhawks podcasting on there?
No, it's the preview. You two are both.
I thought you were changing this to the Blackhawks podcast.
I'll go with he doesn't break Bobby Hall's record. I'll be crazy and say that, but I hope he does. Good luck to Connor and the Hawks and Lawrence and Jay.
He's 100% doing it.
Okay, I mean he's Was he 18 years old?
Yes. So he has like 15, 20 seasons with the Hawks. He's going to
Could be 25.
Yes.
Might play till 43. Why not?
All he does is hockey. It's not like he's eating anything bad. His body's probably
No, he's
gonna be in
he's
perfect shape for 25 years.
He's stretching right now and eating kale at the same time.
Yeah.
That's why he's Connor Bedard. All right, did we touch everybody? I think we did.
Did you come up with anything else, or?
Did I come up with no? I had my Ed Walsh, my Thigpen, my Pierre, and I threw in the MJ. That was my contribution to this conversation.
Gotcha. You want to tell us about game time?
I absolutely can tell us about game time. Sure. Look, when you are going to buy tickets in the secondary market, there is one place to do it, and that, of course, is Game Time Tickets. Now, what you want to do is download the Game Time Ticket app, and when you do that and you use the code CHGO, you know what happens to you? You get $20 off your first purchase, which is super sweet. Game Time shows you exactly where you're going to be at in the stadium, views from your seat, which is a sweet little feature. And they do have the all-in pricing, so you don't have to worry about the fees. They show you everything that you're going to be paying. That way you don't have to think about the fees, which is how I like it. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the event, even an hour into the event, which is sweet too. If you're in the neighborhood, having a Coors Light down the street, then you want to run over, perfect. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO, $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply, but create that account and use that code CHGO, $20 off on that first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
All right. I want to talk to everybody about becoming a CHGO diehard. When you become a CHGO diehard, you get a free shirt right out of the gate, or you get a $34.99 credit. So if you do like this hoodie, like our guy Sticks24 there, you can apply towards that hoodie, which is good. You get access to a bunch of premium content like Adam Hogue's newsletter, Jay Zawoski's newsletter, Vinny Duber's newsletter, Ryan Herrera's newsletter, any newsletter that comes out. Lots of other things, access to our Discord lounge, and you get to support a fast-growing Chicago sports media outlet that puts fans first. So go to allchgo.com/diehard to become a diehard today. Appreciate every one of you who have already done that. You had a few Jacobs signing up today. What a Corey.
Corey's in there. Hold on. I'll tell you exactly who's in there, Kevin.
Oh, there's a Brandon.
Brandon, the mayor, joined in. That was huge. Thank you to Mayor Johnson, who is working very hard alongside Kevin Warren.
Well, I was telling you that before. There was a Brandon Johnson who showed up today, and I said, I wonder if the guy is the mayor of Chicago. And then I looked at the username that he made, and it was something like "me so horny" or something. I was like, I don't know. I mean, it could be.
No, I don't think so. I think the mayor's a little more professional than that. I hope he is.
You never know.
But shout out to our Brandon, which is cooler that you're not professional and you have something like that going on. Your life sounds amazing.
Are either of you going to the
Friday 120 Club
Friday
is
120
tomorrow. Pregame meetup at 9:30 which honestly seems a little early, but
yeah, I was that number is way too early to start.
I don't know. I mean, if someone starts,
lights.
Yeah. But Braggs and Cody will be at Murphy's Bleachers tomorrow, 9:30. Then they're hitting the bleachers. So show up with their bleacher ticket, because we're not selling tickets to it. We're just hanging out. And then the post game will be at Almost Home, which is a really good bar.
Whoa. What happened to Carm over there?
Carm just died. Poppy, we're going to need you.
Poppy!
My goodness.
Come here, buddy.
What a show today. What a show today is.
Oh, Poppy.
How you doing, Poppy?
It's okay, Pop. Right here, buddy.
And dignified appearance by Poppy here.
There you go. So, Pop, I've been sick, but I'm getting better, and you're the key to it. And I'm putting on the Lane Tech hat because we got a big girls soccer match. Grace Carman.
Why is Poppy not facing the camera?
Pop, can you turn around and face the camera?
She's on strike.
Here, let's go this way.
Why don't you just put her in your lap? Wouldn't that be nicer?
The big dog.
I don't think Poppy wants to be on a table.
I think she does. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Well,
I just imagine right now someone clicking onto the show and being like, what the hell is going on? If you're listening to the podcast right now, Poppy is sitting on the table. Poppy is about about 50-pound dog?
She's a 35 to 40-pound 3-year-old Labradoodle.
Sorry for overestimating.
He was a little nervous right now, but I think overall comfortable. She had a great walk yesterday. We took a bath. It was a little muddy out there.
Oh.
Yeah, we did the whole thing. And she loves CHGO. When I come to work, I put the podcast on and let her just sit there and hear me and Hogue and Braggs and whoever else, just communicating. And she loves her day. She has a great life. Don't you, Pop? All right, you can come down now.
Poppy has no comment.
That's unfortunate.
It's very incriminating, Carm. No comment from Poppy.
No.
We were talking in the office earlier this week just kind of about the relative lack of star power in Chicago right now. Connor Bedard is number one. And then probably in 3 weeks, Caleb Williams supplants him, which to me is just a sign of football standing and hockey standing. Right.
So your first year as a Chicago sports fan was what year? Like that you remember?
1983.
So in 83, the Bears' best player was Walter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you were a year away from MJ. The Blackhawks had Dennis Savard, Steve Larmer, Doug Wilson.
Yeah, I think Larmer was.
I think that's all right.
Doug Wilson.
That was pre-Mike, so the Bulls were kind of devoid of talent. The Cubs had Sandberg, 82. The White Sox had Harold Baines, Greg Luzinski. It was the winning ugly White Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a rookie Ozzie Guillen? Or no?
Ozzie Guillen wasn't a rookie until 85.
I think 85, that's right.
Ron Kittle was rookie of the year. Ron Kittle was like my first like superstar player. I love Ron Kittle.
And so, right, so it's the 83 Sox, 84 Cubs, 85 Bears, Jordan era. Blackhawks went to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
The entire 90s.
My entire life, we've had upper echelon stars here in Chicago. I mean, because it went straight through what you're naming through Taves and Kane, and then
even let's go if we go into the
Rizzo Bryant,
like early 2000s. You had Sammy. I mean, you had the 03 Cubs. You had the 05 Sox.
Mm-hmm.
You had the 07 Cubs, 08 Cubs, 08 White Sox. The Hawks run started. At that point, the Hawks we have never been, at least that I can remember, this dead.
Which is why we decided to start a new Chicago sports media network.
Hey, because we know it's going to turn and it's about to happen, and it is happening. Connor Bedard is here. Blackhawks are going to turn. Caleb is coming. Bears are the talk of the NFL right now. Cubs are going to be competitive this year. They still lack star power. The White Sox at least have decided to bottom out. Let's give them that.
Right.
I suppose you could say that they have a star in Luis Robert.
And a possible ace in Garrett Crochet.
He's looking nasty. So, but man, star power is we are if we're
so you're wearing an Agent Zero shirt, but Kobe White doesn't do anything for you right now.
Sub-Zero.
No. I Kobe's a great guy and he's come a long way in his career, but no.
Okay, DeMar doesn't do anything for you.
The most news DeMar has made is that he's apparently stood in front of a Israel banner and now they're screaming about him.
People are not happy with
DeMar.
Right,
like that's that's seriously the most news that DeMar has made since he's been in town. He's like, I'm trying to support a charity here. I'm not trying to get in the middle of
pretty under the profile.
Yeah.
Pretty low profile.
I'm not out here trying to.
He showed up at IO's number retirement champagne. That was cool.
DeMar's a great guy.
Yeah.
Io's a great guy. So Kobe's a great guy. The Bulls have a lot of great guys, but like they're not.
It's crazy to me that baseball players right now, like Dansby Swanson, makes what 160, 170 million.
Right, no one cares.
He's like he's
irrelevant.
Not a star.
He's not a star. Irrelevant. I mean, like good.
And
player.
he's real good looking too, and he's got a famous wife and
good player.
Yeah,
these are not the Channel 9 days. The Cubs haven't been winning. Here's my. You ready for a Bulls quick take here?
Okay.
The Bulls are like they're the wealthy kid who goes to Kansas because he knew in high school that he didn't have to study at all because ultimately he was going to end up working for his family's business.
Okay.
That it was all just going to work out. Like none of it mattered.
Why'd you bring up Kansas?
Because that's where everybody went that just got like C grades. They just
Okay.
went when I was going to college.
I bet you there's like somebody that Carm has in mind when he brings that up.
Oh,
right now.
100%.
What's his name?
Sure, we'll throw Harry Tynowitz under the bus.
Oh,
There we go.
Did he go to KU?
He did for a minute.
Okay.
Before I doubt he graduated.
Didn't you go to
But
Iowa for a minute? What's the difference?
I graduated. Damn it! And Iowa was not as easy to get into as KU.
I got it. Like I applied at like Iowa in the morning, and like there was already like an acceptance letter in my mailbox at night.
You had good grades.
Well, I mean, they were okay. I mean, they were
What did you have? A 3.2, 3.4,
higher.
3? Yeah, you had good grades.
yeah.
They were taking. I don't know. They're taking anybody there.
No, I had to transfer in. Trust me.
You had to transfer into Iowa?
Yes, you have to. Thank you. You we're just hanging out here. CHGO Sports Podcast. Cheers. Look, any grades, I couldn't have got into KU either. I was complete.
What'd you get on your ACT?
22.
What happened?
What happened in which way?
That's pretty low.
Oh, I mean, look, when
You might have been Prop 48.
no 22.
Remember when that existed?
Yes, 22 and a 940 on my SATs.
Woof.
Woof, 540.
Yeah, that's not great.
I'm glad he didn't put on that on his resume when he was applying here.
Well, hey, listen, Greg Braggs didn't graduate
I really
high
don't
school.
think we have that big of a standard here. Sorry.
I mean, did Braggs?
You're fine. You're definitely fine.
Yeah, thank you very much. I
22
mean,
and
I
940.
did Cody graduate high school? I
Yeah.
Do you think that Braggs even took the ACT?
No, I don't.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
You might
But
have used it as a napkin for some Taco Bell.
listen, I was watching Jordan. I was playing intramural hoop. We don't need to go down this. Sticks now is on my ACT score. Hey, at least I'm honest.
That's good for you.
If I took it today, I might be able to get a 24. The point of this whole story, I'm just trying to make it think like the Bulls, they're just happy like nothing matters. This place is sold out.
Yeah.
Playing game. Hopefully we'll get another one so we make sell out the arena one more time this year. And oh, sweet, if we could get to the playoffs as an 8 seed, that'd be amazing. Get 2 more games.
I think it's just so incredibly hard to turn NBA teams around, though. You need so much luck. There's just like not anything you can say like, okay, we're gonna go out and do this. Like even the Warriors, who are the model for the analytical and we're gonna spend money and this and that. They still had to get one of the greatest 15 players of all time and luck into him with the 12th or 13th pick in the draft.
At least try to luck into it. The Bulls are just like, the Bulls haven't made a trade since 2021.
That's true.
Continuity, baby. I mean, to be fair, the last trade they made was giving up a bunch of picks for Vooch.
Which was the dumbest trade ever.
Depressing.
Not the dumbest trade ever, but that trade made no sense. What do you think you're going to be with Nikola Vucevic? You're going to win. You think that this guy's going to put you
Such a stretch.
where?
There's nothing. Like you watch him and just the things he can't do is ridiculous.
He's a great player, or will be a great ad if you're one player away. Like you need somebody who can shoot it and play
like an extra big man.
Play in the mid post, play in the low post. Great ad, but Nikola Vucevic, the essence of my family likes living in Chicago. I'm making a lot of money. Whatever. Maybe at the end of this, I'll luck onto some great team and I'll win
It
something.
just annoys me about the Bulls is like, okay, one day it's like, oh man, they suck. The next day they're taking apart the Timberwolves, which I guess the Timberwolves are an example of sometime you get it right.
They're right. Well, the Bulls are exactly that. They're consistent in their inconsistency.
Right.
Like they'll be, can't shoot the 3. Can look phenomenal one night and look awful the next. I'll say this to the NBA. One more thing. I am an NBA fan. I grew up on it. My number one team growing up was the Reggie Theus Quentin Daly Bulls. Like that was me. And then Mike came along and I did, obviously it rose from there. But I was a Bulls fan. I was a Bulls fan first, my family. Baseball's boring. And I mean, we love the Bears, and my dad played football and all that. But like as far as going to games, we went to Bulls games.
Yeah.
The NBA right now is like watching an All-Star game. That's all it is. It's like a 1980s All-Star game. It is.
I gotta push back on this because like it's. I know you're like, oh, there's no defense, but like,
Did you watch Celtics Thunder last night? Of course you didn't because you have a life. But I don't have to watch it. It's the same game every time. There's no resistance, dude.
No, but the thing is that these guys do not miss from 25 feet in, which is insane. Like the level of skill is so high.
I don't disagree with you. So you can go to the positive side of that. It's like every game is a 1980s All-Star game. They're absurd. They can shoot from 25 feet. It's going in. They're in control. They're hand in their face lightly. It doesn't really matter.
It's a ballet, dude.
It's a ballet. Dude, NBA, get rid of the corner three, move back the three-point line, and bring hand checking back in. And let's actually see these dudes play basketball the way the game was way more entertaining. I've never been a guy like college basketball is better, and I'm still not going to say that, but it's like, man, can I get some level of competition?
Well, when you're in the middle of March Madness and you just get into these, like every single trip down the court matters, and it's like this,
right.
Like.
I mean, what are you talking about? The Illinois game was over by like 4 minutes into
the
second half.
The first 15.
But that's
because they can't shoot.
But that's
a
what
30-0 run. How is that possible?
I'm not saying it's entertaining
because UConn's really good and
30-0.
I know, I understand.
But the first half when they were climbing out of that 9-point hole was very entertaining.
But to Kevin's point too, like each possession feels like it freaking matters to the end of the world, especially if you have a team that you're rooting for. It is like it's life and death.
We saw you on the Bears podcast when Northwestern was playing.
Right, exactly. You get into an NBA game, it's like, I mean, it's just, and I enjoy going. I again.
Would you get back to that feeling if the Bulls were good? If they were fighting to be the first seed in the East?
Yeah, what if they were?
Maybe, do Celtics fans feel like that?
But last night's game was the 59-win Celtics and the 53-win Thunder.
Right.
And I get it. It doesn't mean a whole lot, but it was so unbelievably boring.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think the NBA's got a huge problem on their hands. I'm not the only one that's saying this. And if I'm saying it and I'm an NBA, that's a problem. That is a problem.
I think a lot of it too is just, I mean, they went so social heavy, 10 to 15 years ago, and it got them this big youth base, which is great. I mean, they're the number one league on YouTube. They're the number one league on Twitter. But everyone is just kind of now I'll just watch the cool highlights on Twitter. Like that's where I'm at. I can't tell you the last time I sat down. I was like and watched a game that didn't involve the Bulls.
Right. That's a problem for the NBA. That's a problem for baseball. Who in the world is sitting down to watch the Mariners play?
Well, I mean, people who are gambling on it.
Sure, but okay, that's fine. But Mariners, Rangers.
Yeah, if I've got a Corey Seager, Julio Rodriguez
right.
prop going,
but
I'm locked in.
But look, I mean, look at what they're telling you. Now, Caitlin Clark's a unicorn. I got it. But there were more people watching LSU and Iowa, 12.3 million, than watched the Masters. Than watched. I mean, like there's something that's being missed here with.
Yeah, invest in women, I believe is the answer to that.
Well, I don't know if we can go that far because she was a great story. Again, it's unicorny, but there's an intensity to the action too that people are getting into.
Well, women's college basketball is what men's college basketball was 30 years ago. You get used to these players, you get invested in their storylines, you get invested in the teams, and now I mean AJ Storr shows up on Wisconsin men's basketball. He's here for a year. They bomb out of the tournament in the first, I went to Wisconsin. They bomb out of the year. Now he's out of here going to his third school in 3 years looking for $1 million, which good for him. I'd go get paid too. But why am I supposed to care about AJ Storr?
Right. And well, we're all over the map today, but that calculus too, I mean, it can be just the haves and the have-nots. But I think schools on the have-not side should understand that there are a lot of people that are very good at coaching the game of college basketball that do it on the high school level. Mm-hmm. And if they had good players even on the college level, I think we talked about this before, but I'm just pointing out, like, you can pay these guys and you can build a good team.
Your DePaul.
Yeah, that's
theorem
my DePaul theory.
You got,
But
you got
you-
Chris Holtman. Come on.
Right, but I'll pay somebody who knows how to coach hoop, and let me pay these guys, and they'll jump around. It's terrifying. Hey man, want to come play at DePaul? I got $500,000 for you.
Right. And it's gonna hit the women's game. Haley Van Lith is already leaving LSU. So
Well, that did not go well for her.
it did not.
You apparently have no idea.
No.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, she was a huge scorer at Louisville, and then came in and Mulkey, the awful person that is the coach for LSU,
Sadder.
like just played her in a totally different way, made her guard Caitlin Clark, like it was, and then like just threw her under the bus after the game.
Yeah.
She sucks. So
She should come to Wisconsin because Wisconsin women's basketball has never been good. So, but if they
go.
can't come up with $1 million for AJ Store, they're probably not coming up with $500,000 for Haley or
It's a
whoever.
really weird position for schools to be in. Do we want to pay this kid $1 million to play basketball for us? That's insane.
yeah, that is very weird. Although they have the money.
They do.
All right. That should do it for this week's The Chicago Sports Podcast. Make sure you get those NFL draft tickets. We'll be out there in 3 weeks. Mark Carman, Lawrence Benedetto, Kevin Kaduk, thanks for joining us.
If you listen to this whole podcast, you're a hero. You're the man.